Alright, today we're going to be talking about anterior pelvic tilt, or just pelvic tilt, and what it is, what it means, and how it is robbing you from your running and cycling performance. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. Today we're talking about anterior pelvic tilt, what it means and why it is taking away your efficiency from being a better runner and cyclist. So let's first go over some signs that you may have pelvic tilt, anterior pelvic tilt. First, I'm going to look at my notes because I need notes. Anyway, if you sit for extended periods of time, you may have anterior pelvic tilt. If you are a runner or a cyclist, you may have anterior pelvic tilt. If you wear high heels, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, we don't judge you here, you may have anterior pelvic tilt. If you have flat feet, you may have anterior pelvic tilt. If you have a working TV on top of a non-working TV, you may be a redneck. But if you have sciatica, you may have anterior pelvic tilt. So let's go over a way to test to see if you have anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, let's first start off by testing to see if you have issues with anterior pelvic tilt. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down on a flat surface like a table or a bed and on your back, and you're going to have your legs dangle off the end of the table, let's say a table, and just at your knees so your feet are dangling. What you're going to do is you're going to grab one leg, one knee, and bring that knee and hug your knee to your chest. If your other hip comes off the ground, off the table or bed, then you probably have an anterior pelvic tilt issue. So you can test that with both legs. Just do one leg at a time, and that'll help you determine if you have anterior pelvic tilt. Other signs that you may have this anterior pelvic tilt is if you have a lower back pain, which many people do have, and also it can be shown by having a pronounced buttocks, as your butt sticks out too much, because what happens is your pelvic area is tilting forward instead of being in alignment. It's tilting forward. So what happens is it tilts forward and your butt actually sticks out more, and it actually looks like you have a bigger stomach than you really do, because it's actually extending your stomach forward. So if you have, looking at a profile view, if you have that, you could have anterior pelvic tilt as well. Okay, now that we've determined if you have anterior pelvic tilt and what it means to have anterior pelvic tilt, we're going to work on several exercises to prevent and reverse the pelvic tilt that occurs from being a cyclist or a runner. So the first thing we're going to look at is doing a kneeling quadricep bend. A person with anterior pelvic tilt, the muscles in the quadricep group are overactive and tight. So we're going to try to lengthen those muscles to prevent them from pulling on the pelvis. We're going to perform the stretch by kneeling on the mat and then moving forward and pushing the quadricep and the hip flexor muscles back until they begin to stretch and begin to open up that process of stretching that pelvis. And to do the kneeling quadricep bend stretch, you're going to first kneel on the ground. Then you're going to bring your left leg forward, bending the knee and planting the left foot on the floor. The front thigh should be parallel to the floor at a 90-degree angle to the shin. Then you're going to squeeze the buttocks muscles and push the pelvis forward. Then you're going to hold for 30 seconds and then repeat on the other side. So this will have a nice stretch to your hip flexors and your quadricep, and it may feel a little bit painful at the first, but then eventually it should feel nice and relaxing and help open up that pelvic area and the hip flexor area. Be careful not to arch your back too much. Try to keep your back and your torso vertical to the floor. The next exercise we're going to do is a simple quadricep stretch. It's a standing stretch. You're going to stand up straight, bend the left knee, hold the right foot or ankle from behind. You're going to pull the ankle towards the buttocks as far as possible without causing any discomfort to your knees. You're going to squeeze the buttocks and abdominals, tucking in the pelvis. So you're going to try to get that nice vertical alignment while stretching your quadricep. You're going to hold for 30 seconds and then repeat on the other side. It's a nice stretch to open up those quadriceps, and you should be doing these before every bike ride or run and after every bike ride or run. It helps open everything up and realign that pelvis and rotate it back to the neutral position. Okay, now we're going to move on from stretching to do some strength exercises to help strengthen the muscles that are become weak from running and cycling. And so the first one we're going to do is a simple squat. You can do this with some weights or without weights. Prefer to start doing this without any kind of additional weight. You're going to be standing straight with your feet hip width apart. You're going to point the toes forward. You're going to lower the body into a sitting position, pushing the buttocks backwards and keeping the torso nice and tall. You're going to aim for the thighs to be parallel to the floor as you dip down into the squat position. And then squeezing the buttocks, you're going to push up to the standing position with the pelvis slightly tucked. So everything's in a nice neutral position and your butt's not sticking out and your stomach's not sticking forward. So you're going to repeat that 12 to 15 times. You can do this nice and slow. You're not doing this for speed. You're doing this for perfect form and for working on strengthening the buttocks muscles and keeping that pelvis nice and tucked. So no, you're not doing this a race here. It's just nice and easy. Check it out. All right, moving on to another strength exercise. One of my favorites, one of your favorites. I know you're gonna love it. The plank, the wonderful plank. This is very simple. You're gonna start on all fours with extending your legs straight back, using your toes to support your weight. You're gonna rest the remaining body weight on your elbows and forearms, and the body should now be in one nice line. The hips should not be any higher than your shoulders, or lower than your shoulders. You should be nice in alignment with your shoulders. You're going to hold the plank correctly by squeezing your buttocks muscles. So you're not just holding the plank and just holding it. You're holding the plank. You're working on strengthening your abdominal muscles, but you're also squeezing your buttocks muscles as well to keep everything in a nice alignment. You're going to also be tucking your pelvis slightly, which will help engage those abdominal muscles better. And that's the hard part, is squeezing that buttocks the whole time doing the plank. Some people try to do the plank for as long as they can, so if you can do it for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, that's fine. If you want to do it in intervals, if you're just starting out, you can do 30 seconds to 60 seconds at a time, and then take a 30 to 60 second break, and then do 30 to 60 seconds again. So you can do them as intervals, or you can do them as long as you can, as long as you can hold it. When I'm in shape, I like to hold the plank for as long as I can, because I like to see how I can improve by holding it for 3 minutes, then for 3 minutes and 15 seconds, then 3.5 minutes, then 4 minutes, then 5 minutes, as my core gets stronger and stronger. So check out the plank. You're gonna love it. Okay, this next one is similar to another exercise that we've done before. And if you want to check out those core strengthening exercises in another video, they're right over here. So check that out as well. But we're going to be doing the bridge press. This is very similar to what we've done in the past. This exercise will improve the gluteus and the abdominal strength that we've been trying to work on. It's also going to disengage the hip flexors. So what you're going to do the bridge press is you're going to lie on your back with your knees bent. You're going to have your feet flat on the floor and hip width apart. Then you're going to squeeze your buttocks and tuck the pelvis towards the ceiling. So everything is going to go up towards the ceiling. You're going to roll upward until the back is off the ground and all your weight is on your shoulders. And then you're going to hold that for about 5 seconds. Then you're going to slowly, very slowly, bring your pelvis and your buttocks back to the floor, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. And then as soon as your back is back to neutral on the floor, you're going to raise back up and hold that for another 5 seconds. And that pelvis nice and high up in the air, pressing the buttocks muscles together and engaging those abdominals. So you're going to repeat that 12 to 15 times, and you can do this in sets as well. So you can do 3 sets of 5 or 3 sets of 10, whatever you have time for or whatever you can manage. So start off nice and easy, don't overdo it. As with any other exercise, do not do it to the point of having any other pinch points or other pains starting to start while you're doing the exercise. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for today. Here's just some stretches and some exercises to help improve that pelvic tilt and bring your pelvis back to a neutral position, to help improve the efficiency of your running and your cycling and become more comfortable while running and while on the bike. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give a big thumbs up on the video if you like it. And if you don't, give another big thumbs up on the video anyway. Leave any comments down below. What exercises do you do to improve your core, to open up your hip flexors, to strengthen those quadriceps? And yeah. Here's a tip of the day regarding your hamstrings. If you have tight hamstrings, my tip is do not stretch your hamstrings. Focus on rolling your hamstrings, loosening your hamstrings by rolling them with a foam roller, getting a massage, and also rolling and stretching your quadricep muscles and hip flexors. Do not stretch your hamstring muscles. They are already tight, which means they are already being stretched. Stretching them more can actually cause injury to your hamstrings. So that's my tip for today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Until next time, peace.